and every place and everything is auspicious. But those who have difficulty in seeing auspiciousness everywhere, to begin with, we say, okay, see auspiciousness here. Then slowly increase your understanding of auspiciousness. For a wise person, for a seeker, every day is Navratri. Every day is Janmashtami. Every day is Shivratri. For those who are in the initial stages, for them Shivratri comes once. And they also say, thank God, otherwise every day upvas kaun karega? Huh? Auspicious. So one should keep that feeling in our heart that it is prashaste karmani tatha sat shabda partha yuchyate, that everything is auspicious. We should have goodness in our heart, sadbhav, sadhubhav and sadbhav. So this is bhava. Bhava means attitude. So sat, that word, sound or name of God is used to create that attitude in our heart. Attitude of reality, attitude of goodness and attitude of auspiciousness. With this attitude, you perform karma as a dedication to God without having any attachment. And before you begin, keep that Om also in mind. बापरे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. All three are same. Om Tat Sat. So the essence of Om Tat Sat, if it is kept in mind. So Om, begin the karma with Om, perform the karma with Tat and Sat, and all karmas will become auspicious, sattvic. This is like Tulsi Patra. If this Tulsi Patra is missing, then our karma may have lot of defects. But if this Tulsi Patra if we have put, then our karmas become sattvic. Then it's a wonderful offering, it will purify our mind. This is the most beautiful actually, this very sweet. Bhagwan is so sweet and nice that he gives us his spoon feeding like. He gives us everything. कि ये सब चीज़ें आपको मैं दे रहा हूँ अभी. Because he will be now concluding the Bhagavad Gita. So you want to give everything properly to Arjuna. And through Arjuna, he is giving it to all of us. So we have to remember this. So Om Tat Sat. So Om Tat Sat you remember. And its proper meaning here. Many people sing bhajan Om Tat Sat and then they forget the meaning. So you remember Om Tat Sat and perform all the action. Now, Bhagwan says same about that Sat only. He says further, Yatne tapasi dane cha sthiti saditi chochate karma chaiva tadarthiyam sadityeva bhidhiyate yadne tapasi dane cha sthiti saditi chochate. हाँ, यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थिति सद इति च उच्यते. Bhagwan says that this sat, he already said that it is sadbhav, sadhubhav and prashasta, auspicious. One more thing Bhagwan says, that when we develop that abidance in yajna dana tapas, Yajna, dana and tapasi sthiti. Sthiti means proper abidance. In the sense when our yajna, dana, tapa, karma becomes more steady and more perfect, more sustained with all these sattvic qualities, then that sthiti, that abidance in yajna, dana, tapa is also called sat. Yajne, tapasi, dane cha sthitihi sad iti cha uchyate. In the beginning, actually, we might not be fully established in our attitude of yajna, dana, tapa. Then it is not sat. Then it is we are moving towards sat. But as our yajna, dana, tapa becomes perfect, we get established, then that is also called sat, because that will lead us to this sat. One who is established in yajna, dana, tapa in its most sublime form is liberated only. Then you don't have to do anything, not that liberation will come from somewhere else. One who is established, one who is perfected in yajna, dana, tapa is Sakshat Bhagwan only then. One who is absolutely sattvic in yajna, dana, tapa is Sat only. That person and that actions, everything is Sat. Then there is no differentiation. There is no that I am this person and I am performing good action. No. I, the action, the goodness, the reality, all are one then. The action, the actor and the result of action all become one. So that's what Bhagavan says, that yajne, tapasi, dane cha sthitihi. That word sthiti is important. Sthiti means abidance in yajna, dana and tapas. That is also called sad iti cha uchyate. It's also called sat. So we want to experience that sat, and the way of experiencing and recognizing that sat is to perform our this karmas, this sadhana, and when we reach the perfection in our sadhana, we will at that very moment we will also experience our own self. Because the perfection of the sadhana is the self alone. The nature of God, the Supreme, is yajna, dana, tapa. Bhagavan's another name is yajna. Yajna vai Vishnu. So when we reach perfection in our sadhana, we have reached our destination. It's like again, to give a worldly example, like you go to those malls and all, and they have those, I can't pronounce that, sorry, escalator. It's like tongue twister, I have to, but I don't know, want to practice also. Anyway, so it's very interesting example. Now what to do, I will have to learn to pronounce it. It is like, very interesting. You are on the first floor, you are on the ground floor, you want to go on top to have that Domino's thing, which is on top, and you are here at other section. So you have to go there. So what you have to do, you have to get established well in the first step. Many people get frightened on the first step, especially those who wear lungis and all, they get frightened. कि कहीं यहाँ अटक न जाए नहीं, it will be so embarrassing then. Others might find it interesting, but for those people it will be quite embarrassing. So the thing is that I have to, from the ground floor, I have to go on the first step and establish myself there properly, hold on to the railing properly and establish myself there. That is my sadhana. Once I do this, that first step becomes second step becomes third step, third becomes fourth, and that itself becomes the top, and I reach my destination. I don't have to climb also, but I have to establish properly. If I don't establish, I might tumble down and fall. अरे आप ऊपर गए थे, नहीं अभी नीचे आ गया. So similarly, one who gets properly established in yajna, dana, tapa, that will take us to our final destination. If my karma yoga becomes perfect, then that itself will lead me into state of meditation. if my this dana becomes perfect, when even the attitude that I am giving something disappears, that I, the giver, and somebody is taking, all this dvaita bhav will also disappear. In the beginning, I may have that I have this wealth, I am giving. I am the giver, they are the receiver. But even this feeling will disappear when we have this sadbhav, sadhu bhav, and all, then this also will disappear. Then only that sat alone will remain as my own self. So yadne tapasi dane cha sthiti sad iti cha uchyate karma chaiva tadarthiyam sad iti eva abhidhiyate. And Bhagavan says, even karma, whatever karma we perform, when it is performed tadarthiyam, for the Lord, for that tat, tad arthiyam, for the sake or dedicated to God, when that action is performed as tadarthiya, then that action is also called sat. Sad iti eva abhidhiyate. Then action, when it is dedicated to the Supreme, that action is called sat. When one gets established in yajna dana tapa properly, then that is also called sat. Sat also means real, sat also means good, sat also means auspicious. So when we perform, we should keep this yajna, Om Tat Sat in mind and perform. And that itself is called remember God and perform. Om Tat Sat are not three gods, it is one only, but three aspects of the same Supreme. Three aspect, because it gives rise to that type of feeling in our heart, and it purifies us at different levels. So this is very important. And finally Bhagavan now concludes, he says, Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritanchayat asadityuchyate partha nacha tat pretya no iha ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritanchayat. Bhagavan also reminds us here again that all these karmas which is done with this Om Tat Sat attitude, satvik shraddha, satvik ahar, satvik yajna, satvik tapas, satvik dana, and all these are performed keeping in mind Om Tat Sat. That is what Bhagavan says means by our sadhana. That is our program for our life. After studying Bhagavad Gita, this 17th chapter gives us how to utilize that Bhagavad Gita in our life. Many people, they say, oh, it is very all theory, I can't practice it. This practice is given here. You can utilize it this way. In his own way, Bhagavan has explained things, his own style. And if this is done, then alone it is our sadhana. But if it is done without proper shraddha, means if the shraddha is not sattvic, or we don't use this Om Tat Sat properly, then it is ashraddhaya. Rajasic shraddha and tamasic shraddha is also called ashraddha. See, that way nobody is without shraddha. Everyone is shraddhamayo ayam purushaha. Everyone has got some faith, conviction. But your conviction is rajasic or tamasic, as far as spirituality is concerned, it is considered as ashraddha only, as absence of faith. Belief in something low, belief in something negative is also considered as absence of faith only. So here when Bhagavan says ashraddha, it means tamasic and rajasic shraddha. With tamasic and rajasic shraddha, If somebody performs yajna, hutam, or gives dana, dattam, we have seen how rajasic dana and tamasic dana and tamasic rajasic yajna and tapas and all. So one who performs without shraddha, hutam, dattam, tapaha, one who performs tapas without shraddha, taptam kritancha yata, whatever that person has done, the tapas and whatever action that person has performed, Bhagavan says all of them are called asad only. They are called unreal. Asad iti cha uchyate partha. Hey partha, they are asad. They are as good as not done. They are as good as non-existence. They are as good as the person has not done any sadhana. Asad iti. It is unreal and vain, useless. Asad iti cha uchyate partha. But it will have some benefit. He says, no. Nacha tat pretya, no iha. That it will neither have some positive benefit here nor hereafter. Hereafter also that fellow will not gain something great. And in this world also, with rajasic and tamasic faith, we won't get any happiness or peace or success. So Bhagavan warns us that avoid this and follow the sadhana which I have said. So ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritanchayata asad iti uchyate partha nachat tat pretya no iha. So avoid ashraddha, and means if we have rajasic tamasic, then it is ashraddha only. So we have to make it sattvic, more and more make it sattvic. As I said, let me repeat, that sattvic shraddha is when we develop love, respect, reverence for God, for something sublime, for the sattvic forces of expression of that Supreme. When we have reverence